ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back once again to our Rainbow Calypso Tram Tour here of Grand Turk. This is our little stop, our little farm market area that we have here to the island, to where we bring our guests when they arrive here in the cruise ships to pick up a few local items, souvenirs, to carry back as their reminder of the stay here to Grand Turk, or even to carry back something for a loved one or a friend who they're looking to carry a shot glass to, or probably a little magnet, and they wanted to carry something from the Turks and Caicos Islands, Grand Turk. So this is where you'll find local arts and crafts being done by local artsmen and craftsmen here to Grand Turk, and also throughout the Turks and Caicos Islands. Some of them actually send their arts and crafts up from other islands, and they have family members, loved ones here who will help them to distribute it to you all, our guests, when arriving here on the cruise ships. I like to call this little area here, although it's one of the oldest neighborhoods, I like to call it Ocean Drive, but it's known as Best Road due to the fact that the street is right here next to the water. We have a few little restaurants that is here, a few little bars where you can come on down and unwind yourself after a hard day of work. Even if you like to play dominoes, you can walk right on across the street where the guys are sitting there up under the tree, sit on down with them and play a few games of dominoes. But once again, the street here is called West Road, but I like to call it Ocean Drive due to the fact that it is located right here on the shoreline of our beach, basically. Now, these are some of the units that were just built into the island to accommodate you all as our guests. These units here, most of them have only been here now for about 2 to 3 years. Like the Love Village, the Reef House, these units have just been built here. They are little villas and little Airbnbs. This is what we have here to accommodate you. We are not like some of the other islands here in the Turks and Caicos or even throughout the Caribbean that might have some of the 5- and 7-star luxury lifestyle you might be looking for. Our building code is only 3 stories high. Our government does not allow us to build any buildings calling it 3 stories. The islands that are a little larger can build those 20 and 40-story buildings like Providenciales, and that is where you will find the Ritz-Carltons, the beaches, resorts, and so forth. We have them in the country, just not on this island. That little building there to our left, everyone, that is one of our little local fish houses. If you are a fish lover or a seafood lover, whenever the local fishermen return from the day at sea, as long as the weather is good, they will go out and fish. You can come back there around 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and you will be able to get the fresh catch right from the fisherman's boat before they start to distribute to the restaurants or even to our grocery stores. You can look at the fish or lobster that you want and point it out, and they will make sure to get it for you. This is the Bahari Beach Adventure to our left-hand side, a nice little beach escape to where you can come on down and enjoy yourself. If you're trying to get away from some of the hustle and bustle that takes place around the cruise port, you can come right on down into Bahari, relax yourself, enjoy yourself, get yourself some beach volleyball in, some stand-up paddleboarding, clear kayaking, if you choose to do so. The homes to our right-hand side have been here for quite a while now. They're just as old as this little neighborhood, about 150 to 200 years old. Those were some of the homes that our grandparents, our great-great-grandparents, and others that were here to the island were living in. Those homes are basically just passed down the line. But since they were here so long, your homes have to sustain a certain amount of damages to be torn down, especially if they were built around the early or the late early 1900s. That's our style of building here to our left now. Concrete structurings, as you can see there. You can equip your homes like the one here to the left with solar panels. It helps to cut down on the cost of electricity. Although we do have ourselves our own power plant here, it's not a factor if you go ahead and equip your homes with solar panels. All the way to my left-hand side, those are little condos that are being built here on the island to accommodate you all as guests. We're noticing now more and more every year that we're getting more guests arriving to the islands. And we have no accommodations for them, especially to the little island here of Grand Turk. So we're now building a few more little villas, little Airbnbs, so when our guests want to come down here, they will be able to have locations where they will be able to stay. Now everyone, Now everyone, Carm is going to pass you on here at the front trolley a little bit of the sea salt that we make here on the island. Over to the back there on the back trolley, Smiley has a bag there to pass the back trolley as well. Now salt was our main source of income here into the Turks and Caicos Islands. The salt trade began in 1678. It came to an end in 1964. This is also one of our oldest salt saliners that we have here to the island. That is the same sea salt from the water that was pumped out of our oceans into these saliners. They usually pump about anywhere between 2 to 3 feet of water inside of the saliners. It sits inside of the saliners for a period of about 3 months. But during that time, the salt goes through different coloration phases as well. It goes from being the light turquoise cleared water that is pumped inside of the saliners into a slight pinkish color, then it fades off into an orange color. When it fades off into the orange color, most of the water has already evaporated out of the saliners or out of the salt pond, only leaving about 2 to 3 inches of water there. That is when the sun really kicks in and starts doing its part by drawing all of the moisture out of the water and leaving the salt fragrance behind. Then they will go out with their makeshift rakes and they will rake the salt. We took care of the royal family of the United Kingdom for more than 100 years with the salt that was harvested here from the Turks and Caicos. We also took care of Abraham Lincoln, one of the U.S. presidents, for about 3 to 6 months. In one of his quotes, he left before passing on, the best tasting salt he tasted came from the Turks and Caicos. Most of the salt we use here is used for cooking purposes or making ice cream. That's why our salt tastes so good. If anyone would like to taste it, you can put it on your tongue or a piece in your hand, you can taste it. And it's still made here on the island, but due to the fact that most of these salinas now are feeding grounds for the birds here, the government floods the salinas back out so they won't make any salt. We do not have any distributors for it. So it will basically go to waste. But there are certain locations here on the island every year to where we can go and we can get salt and have enough salt for about a year or two once we go inside of the saliners. Now, what made our salt such a huge factor during the 1670s and 1800s? There were no refrigerators, ice boxes, or coolers. So when you were going on a long journey, you were able to pack your meat or your fish with the salt. And it would have been able to keep it for at least 30 or more days. And after they started making ice boxes, refrigerators, and coolers, they put a damper on our salt trade. We fight for 30 years, keeping the trade alive. But unfortunately, through the ice boxes, refrigerators, and coolers, we were unable to do so. And that's how the salt trade here in the Turks and Caicos Islands came to an end. So here to the left-hand side, this is one of our little primary schools. It is called the Owner Clinton Primary. It is also a government-funded school. All government-funded schools here on the island, there are uniform schools, and they are named after the school's very first principal. And honoring her and the service that they put into the school, they named the schools after their first principals here to the islands now. It is also mandatory due to the fact that education is free of charge here on the island, and it's quite difficult beating our educational system no matter what part of the world you're in. It's quite difficult beating our educational system here. It is mandatory that your kids go to school. If your kids are found during school hours on the streets by local services, the parents can be contacted by the local police department here or our welfare department, our social services, wondering why your child is not in school. To the right-hand side, ladies and gentlemen, that is our little hospital we have here, which is the Cockburntown Medical Center. The hospital was built in 2010. It is privately ran by Insa Health Canada. We only have 2 major hospitals for the country. The other one is located in Providenciales, and that one is called the Cheshire Hills Medical Center. Ours is called the Cockburntown Medical Center. Before we got the hospital there in 2010, this is where the government hospital was located, just known as the Granta Government Hospital. Now, due to the fact that Grand Turk had the very first hospital here in the country, when mothers were about to give childbirth and they were on another island, they would have had to come to Grand Turk a week or two prior to childbirth and be admitted into the hospital until having their child, and then they will head back over to the island due to the fact that there were no major hospital there. So just about everyone that was born in the Turks and Caicos Islands up until 2010 was born at that hospital right there. It doesn't matter if you were living on another island. You had to come up here, have your childbirth, and go back to your island. But it's not that now. Shutters can be lifted whenever they choose to, but on the 30th of November of this year, we just came to the end of our hurricane season. So some folks are still not opening their shutters as yet. They don't really need the shutters because they have electricity, ACs. You really don't need the shutter unless you want to look out the window. That's just about it. They only have to go back around. I guess they have, what do you call them again, their porters and so forth like that. Eventually, when it's given the command to open the windows, they will open the windows. It is also quite difficult reading our healthcare system due to the fact that as long as you are employed, there is a percentage that is taken out of your salaries, whether you like it or not. It goes to the hospital, and that is for your medical health insurance. Okay? We also pay something here called national insurance. That is like your 401k plan that you're setting up when you start to pay national insurance. Because when you retire, you'll be able to collect something from national insurance for the rest of your life. It all depends on how much you put into that company, will depend on how much you will be able to collect. The more you put in, the more you will be able to collect out. You put nothing in, you get nothing out. Okay? Because national insurance is not something that you have to pay. You pay it if you want a percentage when you retire. Because you cannot go to their office and say, hey, I retired now. Where's the form for me to fill out to get my pension check? Nice knowing you. Bye-bye. Yes. And usually here, retirement, well, not usually, retirement here on the island is the age of 60 for ladies and 65 for gentlemen, okay? 60 for ladies, 65 for gentlemen. When you get to the age of 60 here on the island as a lady, yes sir, we have to work 5 more years. We get to play around a little more, that's all. We get to be at the house a little more. Yeah, we can call it and say we're working late. Now, why I was saying it's quite difficult beating our healthcare system is because once you are employed or making your donations to the national insurance or even to the national health insurance, if you need a major surgery here and that surgery cannot be performed and you have to go outside of the country, we have options as well to the countries that we can choose to go to get our surgeries done. We can go to Cayman, we can go to the United States, we can go over to the UK, we can go to Cuba, we can also go over to Jamaica and get our surgeries done. If the surgery is 100 to 300,000, when you return back into the island, you will not be fronted a bill. The bill will automatically go to the hospital, and the hospital will deduct that payment from you to your payment that you're getting from your paycheck. So they will take maybe $3 or $4 out of that monthly or something like that. And that's how we pay. The hospital is fronted with everything. It's not charged a bill. all you have to do is have a medical health card when you go to the hospital. If you do not have that medical card when going there, it is a $250 fee just to see the doctor. Oh yeah. You have to pay if you're not working, you have to pay. It's not free. If you're working, that little percentage is taken out, it automatically goes there because you never know when you need medical assistance. So they're taking it out ahead of time, so when you do go there, you're not have to worry about it in the building. If you need medication, you don't have to worry about that either. It's all free of charge. When you become the age of 60 or 65 years old here on the island, medication automatically comes free of charge to our elderly citizens. Our government does not charge them for that. So we do have ourselves some pretty good benefits here as well. Now to the right hand side, this is the office of the local government. They're using the building there at this time to house the office of our Prime Minister due to the fact that his office is under renovation. To the right hand side is Durham's service station, the farthest service station we have here out of town, heading in the northern direction. There's only about 6 or 7 of them here. Hold on, give me a second.
It's like, no. The dog goes barking. Tie him up and then yeah.
He's a little too strong. They got rope on it.
Yeah, but
If they loose the rope, he might go to the bush and dead. That's why I try to take the rope. I can call the health department, let them know there's a donkey up there with a rope on. They'll come and cut it off. Some kids probably put a rope around it and
yeah, that's the deal.
drag me over the guy.
They don't give me a look like they don't play.
There's an all new excursion donkey ride.
Sorry about that, everyone. You're not going to miss out on any of the time, but I'm trying to get that rope. Donkey there, but he's a little too strong for me. But I'll call the health department to get to my house and I'll ask for them to come and think about it to where they can try and get the rope from off of the donkey. Now everyone, we're heading up into the ridge top, which is our highest elevating peak in Grand Turk. It doesn't get any higher than 121 feet above sea level. So once we get up here, you're at the highest point of the island. But the beauty gets in up here as well, because you can see across both sides of the island. You can already start to see the water off to our left-hand side. But once you get a little farther up, you'll be able to start seeing the water here off to our right-hand side as well. And the water up here, the views are amazing, as you can see.
That's why we don't live in Florida.
Give you an opportunity. Like, give an opportunity to take a photograph or two. we get that 7,000 feet body of water around us. We're so deep. As you can see, the dark water on both sides. Only shallow inland, outside is very dark this side of the island. 7,000 all the way around. The Turks and Caicos Islands are limestone and coral islands. We are not volcanic islands nor tropical. So to our left-hand side is one of our little limestone pits. And the limestone pits is where we cut and dig to the limestone. Now our limestone we have here, it is not some of the top of the line limestone. It is only used to get ground level, level, and also it helps out the road. If you continue to go back to your left hand side, ladies and gentlemen, so those different light depths are coming into the island. That is where our reef starts. You see those light depths are? When the waves are coming in, remember where it's at, okay, in the location. Because you're going to see a lot of, we have the third largest reef. Only 2 other countries have reefs that are larger than the one we have in Turk. The largest reef is in Australia. The second largest reef is in the East. The Turks and Caicos Islands have the third largest barrier reef in the world, which is a 3-mile barrier reef. And we also have one of the top marine biology colleges in the world, and we accept students from anywhere in the world to come down and study marine biology. Don't lose the focus always off to the right-hand side as well, because the view here is beautiful. The water is just amazing. Just amazing. In a day or two, we will be proceeding with those with the white caps out there. It's all going to settle down. We got ourselves a little overcast. About 2 to 3 days, the water just starting is just starting to come down. Now, right here in this proximity here to the island, almost to the north end, just before getting to the light, this is where they found the George capsule sitting out in the water, somewhere over here, to the north end of the island. This is about 5 to 7 miles offland, sitting out in the water, before the facility of oceanographic research and the U.S. Navy went out and brought it back to land here. We had the U.S. Navy to the south end, and to the north end was the U.S. Navy. So we had 2 U.S. facilities stationed on the island, one at either point, the north end and the south end. Look at the reef, guys. Once again, here to my left. Once we come up, just a little farther, maybe another second or 2, then to the right-hand side, you can look off and you can see the reef heading all the way out there into the Atlantic. It runs all the way around the lighthouse and keep going out, guys. There goes our reef. Okay, we have the 3rd largest reef in the world. And you can see where it starts from either side. It goes around the island. There have been more than 1,000 shipwrecks. Because at one point, if you're not careful, you can be on that 7,000 feet depth of water and you can run right up on the reef. Okay? Then we have real bad seas, hurricanes, waves pushing towards the island to get anywhere from 50 to 20 foot waves. It hits the reef and starts to push towards the island here. So then the molasses shipwreck occurred in 1515. That's how they were able to get so much artifacts off of that shipwreck, because those ships, they were also carrying slaves to other Caribbean countries like Hispaniola, which is now known as Haiti and the Dominican Republic. They were also carrying them over to the Bahamas. They were carrying them to Jamaica and other Caribbean countries. And some of those ships lost track and hit our reef here in the Turks and Caicos. That is also how we end up getting some of the first inhabitants to the Turks and Caicos. Before then, we did not even have a lighthouse here. So there was nothing to warn them about the reef being into the Dominican side. Now, how we end up getting the U.S. facilities here and operating in 1952 is during the Cuban crisis missile, where Russia and the United States had a slight agreement, and our waters, the Turks and Caicos, U-boats, Russian submarines were found taking into the North and the South. Our government of the Turks and Caicos Islands informed the British government using the fact that we are British roots. So they informed the United States government and let them know Russian submarines government and the United States government had to make a proper agreement to do so because our government was telling them no at the beginning because they didn't want anything to do with that. Not knowing that Russia was going to turn around and blow our little butts out. Because remember, we're a very small island. But the U.S. being persistent, kept on coming, and letting the government of the Turks and Caicos Islands and also the British government know how severe it would be if they do not drop those radars to where they can track those submarines. Under a treaty that was done between the United States and also the British government. That treaty was in 1952. We were still being governed by the United Kingdom, but the United Kingdom was sending down governors from the various countries. So we had a governor that was here for about 6 months and for 6 months. So the Turks and Caicos Islands, and to make a point of the fact that they were under British ruling, were sharing governors. Months here and then a few months here. We were using the Jamaican dollar and the British dollar here as our currency. The fact that the U.S. is coming in, we're going to be building these bases, we're going to be playing people to the islands. We asked for the United States currency to be paid out instead of the Jamaican dollar or the British pound. The United States took a while to consider that, but due to the fact that they needed the bases here, they went back and they came back. And so in 1952, we allowed the U.S. to come in and set up the bases, and they started to let us use the U.S. currency from that. At the same rate exchange, $1 for $1, and we can use it for as long as we would like to. We did our part of the deal, now it's time for them to roll out to their end. Also, our government asks for us, as natives of the Turks and Caicos Islands, to have easy access into the United States. All we need to get into the United States is a valid passport of anywhere, of our country or even from the UK because we have 2 passports. We have a Northern Ireland passport and we have a Turks and Caicos passport that we can travel off of. But we can live in the United States off of our passport and only a police record from our police department here, and we can live here for 6 months at a time. We are not allowed to work. If we are caught working, it breaks our privileges for entering back into the United States. We're just here as visitors.